Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We've got people from the US, we've got Canadians, we've got a couple Europeans, it looks like, and a few more that likely will make their way to the stream today. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Yes, it is Tuesday, and you are awesome. Yes, all you guys, you and you and you and you and you, and yeah, even you're awesome too. Thank you guys for joining in. Wildcat Bandit with the dogs. They're going to be handy a little bit later, so keep those ready to rock and roll. And Cubs fan Steve, yes, testing out all of the new emotes for the subscribers. Thank you for showing those off. Welcome again to the stream. Lots to go through today. We are going to talk about perfect drafts. I'm going to show you a perfect draft that I did with you guys on yesterday, or maybe it was on the weekend. Not sure. Going to go through all three teams and how they did. We are going to talk Hall of Fame ballot because Thursday we have Hall of Fame ballot cards coming out. We're going to make our predictions. And yes, we are going to open packs on all three teams. Lights, camera, action, gladiators, and of course, the Jim Unknown Blue Jays. So stay tuned, rolling that 30-second intro. Be right back. All right, welcome back. No silent acting today, no silent film acting. I think we're clear. Internet's a little sketchy, so if you're having issues, if it's a little bit slow or you're having buffering issues, it might be on my end, might be on your end. It was good enough to go today, but it's not the best that it has been, definitely. So we'll see how things go. Welcome to episode number 53. Yes, 53, getting close to some of our ages, I think. We're showing our age. And today's episode title is Who is on Your Ballot? Because 1 week from today, the announcement comes about who the MLB will be, or the baseball writers will be putting in to the 2023 class of the Hall of Fame. We already know one person that's being put in. We'll find out the other ones next week, but we will make our predictions. We'll go through who is eligible, who's on the ballot, which cards we might expect to see. So yeah, some fun stuff coming up very soon. All right, Rob fan, good to see you again. Hope your Tuesday's starting off well. Well, it's probably in the middle of the afternoon where you are right now. It is about 11:20 where I am, and currently in Final Four for Ace of Bronze. You go take home those packs. So you're either going to get 3 packs, 5 packs, or 10 packs for the Ace of Bronze. And yeah, speaking of tournaments and Ace of Bronze, again, for the newer players out there, if you're trying to get a foothold in tournaments and trying to earn some free packs, I do have a few tutorials on my YouTube channel. Just go check it out. And it'll help some of you. It might not help some of you. That's fine. We all play this game differently. We all use different strategies, and some of us crunch numbers. Some go by intuition. I just wanted to put something out there to help those that open up the game and go, tournaments? What do I do? How do I get started? Who are some of the good cards? So I show you the Ace of Bronze, the Ace of Iron, and just on the weekend, I put up my Bronze Live tournament hints and tips and roster to help you out. And I want to thank you guys, those of you that have been reaching out to me on Discord or on Whisper. Some of you have been posting my links on the OOTP Discord. Thank you so much for sharing the content and getting the content out there. I'm always shocked this late into the cycle how many new players still come to OOTP. You would think with the new game coming out, we wouldn't see many new players. but every week I'm seeing, between 5 and 10 new people either contact me or post on the Discord that they're just got into the game. So again, I've got a set of tutorials for OOTP beginners, OOTP Perfect Team for Dummies, and I have my 3 tournament tutorials. So go check them out if you're new to the game, and welcome to the channel if you're new to the channel too. Probably not going to be putting out a lot of new content on YouTube for this version of the game because we're almost at the end of the version. And as I said yesterday, about 50% of people, when the new version comes out, they abandon the old version. They leave OOTP 23. So no use putting a lot of beginner videos out for a game that half the people probably won't play anymore. I will be producing tutorials for the new game, talking about some of the new things in the game. And again, once I have my tournament team set up, posting some hints and tip videos about those tournaments that I participate in. So thank you, Rob. Hopefully you will take home that championship and bring home the bacon, as they say. Or in this case, bring home the packs and rip some good packs, rip some good cards. So yes, today we will be talking about the Hall of Fame ballot. And Bailey, you don't need to watch that video. You are one of the top, the Quito Mosquitoes. Well, as you said yesterday, maybe not lately, but you've been doing well in tournaments overall. But yeah, we're going to go through a perfect draft one that I did well on recently, and kind of take a look at my roster composition and how did it finish first place, because I'm kind of shocked. We all know it's a lot of luck. It's a lot of random generation. So as long as you pick the basic good cards, you have a chance. Just avoid the live cards whenever possible. Avoid the live cards. All right, our weather. Yes, I am feeling good because it is only -7 here in Edmonton. Little bit of fog, and the weather's going to get above 0 by Friday. So rock and roll shorts and t-shirt weather. Not quite muscle shirt weather, and you don't probably want to see me in a muscle shirt. So we will never do that on stream. But t-shirts or short sleeve shirts definitely can break into those again on the weekend. Across the world, well, let's take a quick peek. We're not going to spend a lot of time on weather today, but if you live in Panama or Managua, you are the hotspots. 88 degrees Fahrenheit currently right now in those two places. Of course, the more common big cities in America, Miami, again, the place to be. Houston, Austin, Acapulco, all in that high 70-degree range. New Orleans is creeping up there. Wake Island, not sure where Wake Island is. It sounds kind of tropical, Wake Island. And Orlando, Cubs fan Steve enjoying a nice 72 degrees, but he always seems to enjoy temperatures in that low 70 to low 80 degree range at this time of year. So congrats. If you're a retiree, Steve, you probably picked a great place to retire. The cold spot, look at that. Eureka. Eureka is the cold spot again. Yesterday, I showed you where Eureka was, way up here, right where this little yellow placeholder is, somewhere on there on the map. There we go, right up here. That is where the cold spot for today is. Eureka in Nunavut, one of the 3 territories. Canada, we have the 10, and this is for your geography lesson for today. As someone pointed out on EVC stream yesterday, Canada, 10 provinces from BC all the way to Newfoundland. And then we have 3 territories, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Nunavut by far the biggest one, but also the most desolate. And like I said yesterday, made up of the Inuit community. So they always in the wintertime have the cold temperatures for that day. So they are at -40 right now in Eureka. So if you've been to Canada, if you live in America, and if you've been to Canada, I'm kind of curious, where have you guys visited? What have been the places to go for Americans in Canada? Of course, Ontario, always popular. most populated province, Quebec, for a little bit of French culture, especially Quebec City. It's very French oriented. Montreal, and of course, a lot of Ontario, well, not a lot, but a lot of the populated parts of Ontario. In fact, probably about 90% of people in Ontario live in kind of where a lot of the US is, in this little peninsula, or this little piece of land here. We've got about 90% of all the people that live in Ontario. So yes, Toronto, of course, the capital city of Ontario. Ottawa is kind of our Washington, D.C. That's the capital of Canada. And yeah, a lot of it dips down by Michigan, by New York. So it's almost like another state. It could be the 51st state if they redrew these lines a little bit around the 5 Great Lakes, which I'm sure in school you learned a cool acronym to remember the Great Lakes. BC, very, very cool in terms of tourist, nice weather. You've got Chinooks in the south in Alberta. Saskatchewan, you can see all the way across. It's so flat, farmland and potash, a little bit of coal. But yeah, it is so flat, you can see all the way across Saskatchewan if your eyesight's really good. Manitoba, very cold. Of course, it's inland, so you're going to get the extremes in temperatures in the winter. In the summer, you've got Winnipeg as the capital city. And again, a lot of tourism across the border to North Dakota and Ontario, Quebec. And then you have Atlantic Canada, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, which is known for potatoes, a lot of potato growing in PEI, and Newfoundland. Hey, Newfoundland, we just joined Confederation in late 1940s. I think it was 1947 or 48, right after World War II. They joined Confederation. They were the last province to become part of Canada. Very different dialect, very different way of living. Fishing, of course, is the main industry, and lots of cool colored houses. A lot of pastel looking blues and pinks and purples and yellows and oranges in terms of the siding of their houses. So yes, that is your second part of your geography lesson about Canada. Rob, you've only been to Canada side of Niagara Falls, and yeah, that is part of the beauty of Canada, but you have to make your way out west. You got to put that on your list and come out west. Rayleigh was on that list. That's where you are at, Heath? Wow. Very cool. And a lot of cold and rain in New Jersey. Waste of a winter, cold but not cold enough. Yeah, I've been watching the weather forecast for the US, and apparently it's one of the warmest winters. And your last big chance for snow, especially in kind of this area right here, the Midwest and the Eastern area, is going to be in the next couple weeks. That if you don't get a big batch of snow in the next couple weeks, that's probably it. Your window is probably closed for lots of snow, because once March hits, even if you do get snow, it's going to melt really quickly. So yeah, if you are a snow lover, you're not getting lots of it in the, well, unless you're in Buffalo, breaking records kind of in that area, but kind of the other areas that usually get more snow, they're kind of barren for snow this time of year. All right. Small population size, many cousins. Where are you talking about that, Luke? We won't go down that road. You have a lot of cousins in somewhere, wherever that is. Oh, in Newfoundland. Oh, in Newfoundland. Never been there. I have not been a lot to Eastern Canada. I've been to Nevada. I've been to Arizona. Been to Texas, Louisiana. Of course, the northern states, Montana, North Dakota. But yeah, haven't traveled a lot. Maybe I've been to 8 of the 50 states and probably 4 Canadian provinces. But I've been to Europe. Very, very cool in Europe. All right, OOTP wise, remember, if you're having difficulty logging in or sync errors, still some maintenance going on with OOTP. I haven't experienced too many issues. Sometimes I get a little bit of lag in the game itself, where I'll click on something within the game and the hourglass comes up and I have to wait a few seconds for it to load. But if you're experiencing any kind of issues, it's expected at this time. At least we know it's a possibility. Thursday night when the new cards come out, yeah, we get a lot of sync error, and sometimes on the weekends too. OOTP News, let's check at their Twitter account here. Of course, the big football game yesterday, Dallas Cowboys defeating, spoiler alert, Tom Brady. And maybe that's going to be it for Tom Brady. Maybe he is going to hang up the cleats in his career. And what a career it has been. And as they posted a couple days ago, we are only 75 days away from opening day. Yeah, the baseball season is coming soon. I can't wait for my Jays to take another run and barely make the wild card and then lose in the first round. Yeah, go Jays, go Jays. Maybe this year will be a little bit different. So yes, they have posted that we're about 72 days now until opening day. All right, let's get on to some predictions here. We know 2 days from now, Dishnet will be on presenting the Hall of Fame set. Yes, there will be cards released that are part of the Hall of Fame ballot. And again, we don't know if it's just this year's ballot, which I'm assuming, or whether it's any Hall of Fame ballot. I'm assuming it's going to be this year's. I'm going to guess somewhere between an 8 and 12 card set. And probably we're going to get maybe a few gold. Of course, we're going to get some diamond. We'll get 2 or 3 perfect. And maybe, I don't know if we're going to get any iron or silver. Maybe they'll throw in a token 1 or 2 iron or silver. And typically we get at least 1 limited edition card. So maybe we get a silver Hall of Fame ballot guy. But hey, if you made the Hall of Fame ballot, you should not be getting an iron card. If your peak card is an iron and you're on the Hall of Fame ballot, you shouldn't be on the ballot. Let's face it. So that's why I'm guessing most, probably 95% of the cards will be probably gold or higher. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, going back to my map here, I have never been, but have you guys been to Cooperstown, home of the Hall of Fame? I had to even look where that was. I knew it was in New York, but I didn't know if it was Western or Southern. Didn't know where Cooperstown exactly was in the state. Have any of you guys been to Cooperstown? And what have your experiences been like in Cooperstown? Because that would be definitely, as a baseball fan, a dream to go to and to check it out. So we got Doubleday Field. Very cool. Let's put on full screen here. Doubleday Field, cool name. And of course, there it is. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Open currently and closes at 5 p.m. Eastern. Any of you been to? So Bailey's been to there? Cool. Tim Gross, the last time we eagerly awaited baseball was 2011-12 or 19 when you got Harper. Yeah. Those big off-season movements, I'm sure the Trey Turner fans are going to be excited to see him with a new team. Rev Sober, my man. I think you're a man. I hope you're a man. Rev Sober, you spent a lot of time in Vancouver and Kamloops. Well, I'm not sure if you caught the stream, but I grew up in Kamloops. I know Kamloops extremely well. Very semi-arid kind of area, and gorgeous land. Summertime's pretty dry, and nice weather typically all year round. And yeah, the people, it's a very, let me go back on camera here. If you ever go to Kamloops, British Columbia, it's like you're going in slow motion. It's a very slow-paced community compared to the big bustling cities. So you go to the downtown core and people are moving slowly, traffic's it's like when you watch videos at normal speed, or if you watch it at slow speed, like 0.8, that's what Kamloops, British Columbia is like. At least that's what I found it was like. But yes, cool to see that some of you have been to Kamloops. Rob's fan, you really want to go to Cooperstown? A bit of a hike, 3 to 4 hours away. Hey, if I was 3 to 4 hours away, I would definitely make the trip. But I'm a long way away, so definitely not worth it. In fact, I think I can do that. Maybe I zoom out here. Here I am in Alberta. Somewhere on here we can do distance, I think. Where is that distance measurer? Click on this one. Nope. Well, I'm not going to play around, but it's a long way. It's probably 3,000 kilometers for me. So whatever that would be in miles. I'm curious though, is what it's like the Cooperstown Hall of Fame. Like how long would it take you? Bailey, you've said you've been there. How long would it take you to tour through it? Is it a full day experience, or is it kind of a morning or afternoon? How long, as a baseball fan, not just a casual baseball fan that's going to walk through and not really appreciate it, but as a hardcore baseball fan, how long would you say you would need to go through Cooperstown? Curious. And Rev, perfect description of Kamloops. Yep. Kelowna is actually is a better version of Kamloops because it's got nicer beaches. It's the weather's nicer. It's very more touristy. It's right on the Shuswap Lake. So yeah, Kelowna is an upgrade on Kamloops, but of course, growing up in Kamloops and watching the Kamloops Blazers hockey team, it's always going to be the best place for me in BC. Oh, Bailey was there so long ago, you don't remember? But you remember you were disappointed. But here's the question, Bailey. Were you a big baseball fan at that time? Because maybe you were disappointed because you didn't really know the game that well, especially with Perfect Team and all the cards. Maybe if you went through it now, you wouldn't find it as disappointing because you'd go, oh, hey, there's cool Papa Joe's glove. Or, hey, there's Mickey Mantle's bat. So maybe it was your understanding of baseball at the time that made it disappointing. So at that time you were not, yeah. I bet you if you went again, it would be a much different view of Cooperstown. All right, so that is our look at Cooperstown. Let's go and predict. Let's go look at who we think might be released on Thursday. So I've got my baseball, I think it's Baseball Writers Association something. I don't know what the second A is. Maybe you guys know. Baseball Writers Association, I don't know. Anyway, they released their nominees on November 21st, 2022. And 1 week from today, the results come out. And I think in baseball of America. Okay, thank you. Yes, that makes sense. And is it true in baseball that each of the writers that votes has to publicly announce who they voted for? I know it's not that way in hockey for the Hall of Fame, but I believe, is it baseball or football where you have to announce, it has to be transparent who you voted for? Pretty sure it might be baseball. Again, as a Canadian, I'm not an expert on the game. I'm probably more of an expert with OOTP than I am with the real baseball. So we've got all these players here. I'm sure many of you grew up watching them, so you're probably familiar with a lot of these players. It looks like there's about 20, 25 on the list. And with the Writers Association, you can only be on the ballot for 10 years. After that, you're taken off and you can no longer be voted in by the writers. There is another category which you can qualify for after. So we've got Scott Rowland. There you go. Speaking of Philadelphia Phillies, part of the Cardinals. I forgot he was on the Blue Jays. Cincinnati Reds Gold Glove winner 8 times, 7-time All-Star. But it's his 6th year on the ballot, so he's been passed over 5 times. Todd Lynn Helton, 17-year career for Colorado. Wow, he played his whole career in Colorado? Way to go. That is loyalty. Good job, Todd. Mind you, the ballpark probably boosted his home run total quite a bit. Wow. So individual ballots, thank you, IB. Individual ballots are not revealed by the Hall, but kin. Okay, so it's a choice if the voters want to reveal who they voted for. Okay, because sometimes I see on Twitter, some of the writers will say, here is my ballot, here's who I voted for. Okay. And Cicero's confirming that. I think they have a choice. Okay. I think they have a choice. All right. Well, good to know. They can choose not to have their name linked to the votes that they made. So we are going to go a little bit deeper into the Hall of Fame nominees, but I do have our first ad break coming up. So again, if you're a subscriber, I'll keep kind of going through here and highlighting some of the players that we listed because you don't have ads. You get the continuous show. For the rest of you guys, we will be back in about 90 seconds. Billy Wagner, Billy the Kid Wagner. One of the best nicknames, Billy the Kid. Definitely remember him growing up. Andrew with a U Jones. Another 17-year career, mostly with the Braves, but also played with the Dodgers, Rangers, White Sox, and knew something. Was he a Yankee or was he a Met? Andrew Jones. Gary Sheffield. Played for 8 teams. And now he's a sporting agent. Cool. Also have A-Rod. We all know A-Rod, 22 seasons in the major leagues. Jeff Kent, I know some of you are Jeff Kent fans. And once again, I did not know Jeff Kent played with the Toronto Blue Jays. I remember him as a Giant, as an Astro. He must have been drafted by the Blue Jays. Any Blue Jay fans, what are your recollections about Jeff Kent? I must have been, I don't know. I just can't remember him as a Blue Jay. Manny Ramirez. All right, we are back from our commercial break, looking at the Hall of Fame ballot and who we might see on Thursday in the Hall of Fame ballot set that Dish will present at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we finished off, went through Billy Wagner, Billy the Kid Wagner, Andrew Jones, Gary Sheffield, Alex Rodriguez, and I just kind of mentioned, I can't remember Jeff Kent playing for the Blue Jays. So again, was he drafted by the Blue Jays? Did he play any time there at all? Or was he traded as a prospect somewhere else, probably to the Mets? Manny Ramirez. Omar Vizquel, one of the best modern shortstops. Little O, they called him. And he played for the Mariners, the Indians, the Giants, the Rangers. Andy Pettitte, of course, well-known New York Yankee, also played for Houston. And it was his time in Houston that convinced Roger Clemens to sign his contract at the end of his career because he wanted to play again with his good friend, Andy Pettitte. Jimmy Rollins, another great utility guy. J-Roll, played for the Phillies, the Dodgers, the White Sox. Bobby Abreu, 4th time on the ballot, and again, played as an outfielder for a variety of teams. Mark Burley, I do remember him on the Blue Jay. In fact, his picture shows him there on the Blue Jays in their run in the 2015 and 16 season, I think. Torrey Hunter, great outfielder for the Tigers and the Twins and the Angels. Bronson Arroyo, another Red Sox, Reds, Arizona. He wore a lot of red uniforms other than his time in Pittsburgh. Carlos Beltran is on the Hall of Fame list for the first time. So Arroyo, Beltran, Matt Cain. What was his nickname? Big Sugar? The Horse? Big Daddy? Caner? Guy had a lot of nicknames. I wonder which one they use in OOTP. My guess is Big Sugar. R.A. Dickey, another Blue Jay. Jacob Ellsbury, first time on the ballot. Thank you, Cubs fan. Okay, so Kent went to the Mets from Toronto for Cone. Do you have up there, Steve, did he play any games with the Blue Jays? Or was it all in their minor league system? Did he have any time in Toronto is what I'm trying to say. Andre Ethier, first time on the ballot. J.J. Hardy. John Lackey. There you go, Cubs fan Steve. John Lackey. Former Cub. Mike Napoli, another former Cub, first time on the ballot. Johnny Peralta, a lot of time with Cleveland and St. Louis. Francisco Rodriguez. I think, didn't he finish his career in Toronto too? Wasn't he on the Blue Jays at the very end of his career? Or am I thinking of a different Francisco? That might be Francisco Liriano, who I'm thinking of. Houston Street, from the A's, the Rockies, the Padres, and the Angels. Jared Weaver. I always remember him as an Angel. And Jason Worth, first time on the ballot, also played with the Blue Jays. So we're definitely seeing a Blue Jay theme here. And it looks like he started with the Blue Jays as well. So maybe Cubs fan Steve, you can fill us in on who he was traded for. He was likely probably traded to the Dodgers because the first team listed here is Toronto. So just like Jeff Kent, I'm wondering if he was traded as a prospect. So he was drafted by Toronto. That's Jeff Kent probably in 1989 and played in their minor league system. And played 65 games in 92 with Toronto. So, does he have a World Series ring then? Toronto won, wasn't it in 92-93 or was it 93-94? So he was very close to being part of those World Series teams in Toronto. If it was 92, he was probably traded then. Yeah. So he would not be part of the World Series teams because he was probably traded in 92. Probably for David Cone, who helped them get the World Series, is my guess. So long ago, I can't remember specific years. All I remember is moments like that Joe Carter home run. So these are the individuals. The only one that is in a little bit of jeopardy is that Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent, this is his 10th year on the ballot. So if he does not get voted in, he likely will never be part of the Hall of Fame. Well, he can't anyway as part of the writers. Here is last year's results. So Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling, and Sammy Sosa. We will not see them on the writer's ballot again because last year was their 10th year. And the only one that really got close, well, two guys, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, came close to making it in their last year. But I believe they need 75% to be eligible, 70 or 75%. And they need at least 5% to stay on the ballot. So Nathan, Hudson, Lincecum, all these players here, unfortunately, did not meet the threshold of 5%. So those are the magic numbers, 75% or 5% for either being accepted or staying on the ballot. Dave Ortiz, he just barely made it. I thought that number was higher. So he got about 78% of the vote. So he barely made it in last season. So last year, Jeff Kent, 32%, 33%. So can he get another 43%? Probably not. My guess of Jeff Kent might make it up into the 50s, but I don't think he'll make it in. Now, Scott Rowland, he was close last year. Maybe he gets to that 75%. Wagner and Helton, they might get into the high 60s or mid 60s. So once you're on the ballot for 4, 5, 6 years, it's probably tougher getting in. Mind you, I think it was Larry Walker. Let's see if we can go back a little bit here. No one elected, no one made it in 2021. In 2020, yes, Larry Walker made it in on his 10th and final try. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes those players can make it in late in the game. Of course, Expo legend. Probably more famous when he went to Colorado. But I will always remember Larry Walker. And I think his cap in the Hall of Fame is an Expo. I think he went in as an Expo, didn't he? Or did he go in as a Rocky? Ooh, Scott Rowland's currently at 80%. So what did he get last year? In the 60s, right? Scott Rowland got 63 last year. So I think he's going to be close. He is going to be close. He's still got 5 more tries. So I think he'll be like Larry Walker. Eventually he will get in. Maybe not this year. All right, so let's get back to this year's list. And I've never done a poll on Twitch before, but I'm going to try one out here. So I'm going to put a question in the chat. Hopefully it works. And the question is, who is most likely to have a perfect card on Thursday night? Not just to have a gold or diamond, but which of these 5 players I've listed do you think will get a perfect card, be announced by Dish on Thursday night? I'm just going to start this prediction here, see if it works. And first time trying this. So let's see if this prediction shows up in the chat. And we'll let you guys vote. I'm not sure how it goes. Hey, Tranquil Farm. Tranquil Farm, thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing? Yes, we have a raid coming to the Gladiator Stadium. Thank you so much, Tranquil Farm, for bringing over the viewers. We are talking Hall of Fame ballot and who we might see in perfect team on Thursday. All right, so that timer on that ballot, I'm just going to have to excuse me a little bit. I'm going to stay quiet, which is not normal for me, just for a little bit as I look at this poll, and it looks to be working. Okay, looks to be working. And we're going to wait for the timer to run. If you're joining, there is a poll in chat. Hopefully it showed up for you. Who you think will be the perfect card? Who will DishNet announce on Thursday night as a perfect card? Just for fun. And you have 5 different choices. You've got A-Rod, you've got Beltran, you've got Helton, and you've got Wagner and Mr. Pettit on the list there. We got another 10 seconds here to go in the ballot. And I'm curious if Twitch will put the results then on screen. Let's check this out in a few seconds. And again, I've got lots of different screens going up here. I'm just seeing if they put the overall results. So what do you guys see in the chat there on Twitch? Because again, my windows are a little bit different as the streamer. Did they put the final results, the final percentages? Or do they just put the person that you voted for? You don't see a script or anything like that? Okay. Yeah, because right now it just shows me it's waiting for result. So we'll give it a couple minutes and see if it shows up publicly. If not, I've got the results here, and we'll see if it shows on screen. Like I said, first time I'm trying this kind of poll prediction right in chat. But I'll read it out here. 71% of you voted for Billy Wagner as our perfect card. 1% for Helton and Beltran. 27% of you chose A-Rod. And none of you chose Andy Pettit. So yes, none chose Andy Pettit. There we go. Choose outcome. All right, well, I'll play around with those polls and see if I can get it to show in chat and how that will work. Shows on my screen, but not in chat. All right, let's get back to the Hall of Fame ballot and who you think might be part of our set on Thursday. Remember, we're looking at who might be part of Perfect Team. I think personally, though, in the Hall of Fame, A-Rod, I think, is probably going to get in, although what did he get on his first ballot? He didn't get in on ballot number 1. He ended up with 34%. So maybe not. Maybe he's one of those guys like Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, Schilling, Bonds, that the Baseball Writers Association just doesn't like. So he definitely is not a slam dunk. Roland, Helton, Wagner, Sheffield. Yeah, they probably are better bets than A-Rod right now. So I'm going to guess Roland for sure, and one of Helton or Wagner gets into the Hall of Fame. It may only be Roland. We'll see. Of course, we heard that Mr. Fred McGriff, he was voted in because the other way you can make it in as a player is from the contemporary baseball player ballot. So these are former players of the game that are on a committee. There are how many? 17 of them? Let's see, somewhere 16. 16-member committee made up of Greg Maddux, Jack Morris, Ryan Sandberg, Lee Smith, Frank Thomas, Alan, the real Trammell, and some executives, Paul Beeston, Theo Epstein, Derek Hall, plus media and historians Steve Hurt and Susan Slusser. So this 16-person committee, they get to nominate and select people. And you have to have 75% of the vote. And Fred McGriff was unanimous. All 16 members of the committee voted in Fred McGriff. Half of them voted in Mattingly, and close to half voted in Schilling and Murphy. So that is the other way. Once you are taken off of the main baseball list for Hall of Fame, you can still squeak in as part of the contemporary baseball player ballot. So this year's has been decided already, and that was Fred McGriff, again, a former Blue Jay. Well, let me just switch screens here. So here is what I have concluded by going through Perfect Team and looking at the Hall of Fame list. In terms of new cards that I think we're going to see on Thursday, we will not see a Todd Helton, Andrew Jones, Sheffield, Kent, Ramirez, Abreu, Dickey, Hardy, Lackey, or Street. And the reason why I've X'd those ones off is because they already have peak cards in the game. And typically, OOTP will not release another card if they already have a peak card. So if you're waiting on a Helton, Jones, Sheffield, Kent, the best versions of them supposedly are in the game already. Unless they release them as a limited edition card. That could happen. Maybe we see a Andrew Jones limited edition. But they either have perfect team cards, tournament cards, some card that is labeled peak already in the game. So that narrows it down for me. So who do you think we get peak cards of? I think, because it's a Hall of Fame ballot, I think we're going to get A-Rod, his peak card. Now, they could be saving him for a milestone mission, possibly, but this would be the perfect time to bring him in because he's on the Hall of Fame ballot. We absolutely are going to get, I think, a Scott Rowland card. Probably a perfect. He's my number one choice for a perfect card on Thursday. But who else? Maybe a perfect Andy Pettitte would make sense. So if we do get perfect cards, those are my three choices. Rowland, Rodriguez, and Pettitte for perfect cards. Diamond, maybe we get a Matt Cain, because I don't think we have any Cain cards in the perfect team this year. So Matt Cain, maybe we get a diamond of him. Maybe we get a diamond Mike Napoli. And maybe a diamond Francisco Rodriguez. Because remember, they like to add a closer in for most of the levels. So because Houston Street and because, Wagner, we're going to have a Wagner. Either diamond or perfect. My guess is probably a high diamond Wagner. So my choices for perfect are Rowland, A-Rod, and Pettitte. My choices for diamond, Wagner, Cain, Napoli, and Rodriguez. And yeah, Tranquil, yeah, we need Andy Pettitte with 145 hold. Yes. For those that value hold runners, yeah, Andy Pettitte is probably going to be pretty good. Good pickoff guy. So that puts us at 7 cards there. 3 perfect and 4 diamond. And then gold. Jacob Ellsbury. I don't think he has a card in the game yet. I could see a gold Jacob Ellsbury with a lot of speed. I could see a gold Omar. I'd like to see him in the Hall of Fame just because he was such a good defensive player. Like an Ozzie Smith, like you could rely on that guy and played so long with Cleveland. So I could see Omar getting a gold card. Jimmy Rollins, I don't think he's in this year's version of the game yet. If he is, it's a very low level, like an iron maybe. And then we need a pitcher. Mark Burley, maybe we get a gold Mark Burley. And somewhere Carlos Beltran has to fit in. What do you think? High gold, diamond? What is his peak of career? maybe a mid-level diamond at best for Carlos Beltran. So there you go. If we get a 10 to 12 card set, 2 to 3 perfects is my guess, with Roland, Wagner, and A-Rod. 3 to 4 diamonds. The diamonds being Matt Cain, Napoli, Rodriguez. And for our gold, Omar, Rollins, Ellsbury. And then I'm not sure if Roland, they give him a diamond, or if Beltran, they give him a diamond. Anyway, those are my calls for Thursday night. I am going to give the hound guarantee that we likely see perfects of Roland, Wagner, and A-Rod. They might be saving for the missions. I don't know. And A-Rod. Those are my top 3 choices. What do you guys think? What do you think in terms of perfect card? Are we going to get another world-class third baseman to go with Mike Schmidt? Or are we going to get a subpar third baseman that we look at and he looks good, but he's still not up there with the best third baseman currently in the game? Remember, we're late in the cycle. Cards tend to get better later in the cycle. Are we going to get that meta A-Rod that we can fit in and replace some of the shortstops or second basemen we're using now? Very good. Good question for the chat. Better overall. If you were building a team, would you rather have Ozzie Smith or Omar Vizquel? Personally, I would choose Ozzie Smith because of the personality, to bring in more fans, to generate more revenue in the ticket sales. I think I think they're pretty equal as just a overall player. But if I had to choose one to build a team around, I would choose Ozzie Smith. But yeah, curious what the rest of you guys think. Ozzie, Cubs fan Steve is going with Ozzie too. Yeah, I know, right? You have to consider the backflips, right? You have to consider the on-field personality. So I think the edge goes to Ozzie Smith, but you're not going to go wrong with Vizquel. I mean, obviously the Hall of Fame thinks Ozzie because Ozzie Smith, I don't know how many ballots. Maybe someone could look that up. Maybe Cicero, you could find out how many ballots before Ozzie Smith made the Hall of Fame. But currently we have Omar, who hasn't made it yet and may not make it. He may be one of those players that goes 10 ballots and never gets on. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the chat. Again, thank you, Tranquil Farms, for the raid, bringing over your 80 viewers. I've been watching some of your meme or your emote-only chat baseball, where you're playing your tournament and you're playing all these different historical teams against each other. So good stuff. And thank you to Captain Airpa31 for the recent follow just a couple minutes ago. Sean Paxlair, thank you for your follow about a half hour ago. Kurzov22, thank you so much. And Haas McKay Fabe for following yesterday. I think I got everyone there. And I don't know if Fofi is in the chat today. Haven't seen him. But if Fofi's in the chat, make yourself known, Fofi. Really Vanilla Gorilla, Ozzie, Cal, and A-Rod. Redefine the possibility. Yeah, you're exactly right. Like, they all played shortstop well and in different ways. You love them for their different abilities, whether it was better defense, better offense, more all around, personality, versatility. You know, A-Rod playing many positions. Cal could play a few positions. I don't know if Ozzie ever played anything but short. Did he play second base in his career at all? I can't ever remember watching a game with him at second base. So definitely vanilla. It all depends on what you're looking for in a player. So there we go. If you're just joining us, we're going through the Hall of Fame ballot, which is announced 1 week from today. Next Wednesday or next Tuesday, we will find out which of these players has been selected to the Hall of Fame. Seems to be consensus that it will only be Scott Rowland, that any of the other players won't get enough votes or reach that 75 percentage. And in terms of the cards that Dish announces on Thursday, my consensus, if one person can have a consensus, is we will get perfect cards of Rowland, Wagner, and A-Rod. We will get diamond cards of Pettit, Beltran maybe, Napoli, maybe Rodriguez, and then we'll get gold cards of Ellsbury, possibly Kane, maybe he makes diamond, and Vizquel. I hope we get a Vizquel because I don't think we've had much higher than a bronze Vizquel. I remember the bronze one. I don't know if we've had a silver or gold Vizquel. Ozzie retired in 1996. Doesn't show up in the 2001 ballot, but it was number one with 91% in 2002. So there you go. It sounds like he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. All right, we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for those that have followed the channel today and are commenting as we've gone through the Hall of Fame ballot. Once again, thank you, Tranquil Farms, for raiding in a little while back. And as Cicero mentioned, Ozzie Smith, his first Hall of Fame eligibility was in 2002, and he was easily voted in with 91.7% of the votes. So he was a first-time ballot member. You see some of these other great players, Jim Rice, Andre Dawson, Rich Gossage, Steve Garvey. Like some of these other players didn't make it into the Hall of Fame ever, and Ozzie Smith makes it in. So when Tranquil Farms asked, who would you rather have, Smith or Omar? I think Smith is probably going to be the choice of most people. But then when you add in, would you rather have Smith, Cal Ripken, A-Rod, some of these other great shortstops? It all depends on the type of team that you're building. Because as Cicero mentioned, Ozzie Smith only played shortstop, so you're not going to get that versatility. He played it really well, but not like you can play him in many other positions. All right, that is our Hall of Fame coverage. One more time, players who are not on the ballot this year because they've already been on 10 seasons: Sammy Sosa, Curt Schilling, Roger Clemens, and Barry Bonds. Last year was their last year on the ballot, and Bonds was close. It was at 66%. So the only way he can get in is if the early era or the modern era Baseball Association votes them in. So it looks like there's a bunch of different eras. Last year, the Golden Days era selected Minnie Minoso, Gil Hodges, Jim Catt, Tony Olivia. And last year, Buck O'Neill and Bud Fowler made it in the early baseball. So I'm not sure if the one Fred McGriff, like this one, I don't know if this is new or if it just rotates. Maybe you gay baseball experts know. Do they rotate contemporary and early era Hall of Fame selections? Or is this just a new one this year? Looks like they might rotate it. Interesting. At least it's good that players that are not voted in by the baseball writers, they can still make it in under a different category. All right, let me catch up on chat here. Let's see what's going on. Vizquel was just as good as Ozzie defensively. Totally agree. 100% agree. Vizquel just as good defensively. Ozzy's fielding stats showed that he only played shortstop. Vizquel, I'm pretty sure, played some second base. He must have played some second base. Dick Allen should have made it. Not familiar with him, but I will accept Cubs fan Steve's recommendation. Where was Dick Allen? Was he an early era? Let's go down here. Golden Days. So yeah, he was part of the Golden Days ballot. Minoso, Hodges, Cat, Olivia. Dick Allen. Let's take a look at him. He played first base, third base, outfield, most notably for the Phillies and White Sox. Look at those glasses they wore back then. Cool. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Dick Allen. Does he have a perfect team card this year? Is he in perfect team? He got 68% of the vote, so he was a few percent short. He was one ballot short. You'd figure these guys would talk amongst themselves and say, okay, who are you voting for? We can't have anyone at 11 because, man, he's only one off. Well, maybe he'll get in again. And the people that select the Golden Era, Rod Carew, Fergie Jenkins, Mike Schmidt, Ozzie Smith. There you go. Ozzie's part of the Golden Era committee. Joe Torre. A lot of these baseball players of the past are still staying active as part of these committees. So yeah, one vote short. Who was it? How many are on this committee? There are... Doesn't say. Guess we could count them up. Sixteen members on that committee. And then this one, there was Vic Harris was a couple votes short. He was 2 votes short. For a minute, I thought that said Josh Donaldson, going, what the heck? No, John Donaldson. All right, Home Run Johnson. We know this guy, Bill Dallin. He's often one of the better cards in Perfect Team. And he better get in? Who was that better get in? I must have missed that in the chat. Was that Scott Rowland or was that Omar Vizquel? So yeah, welcome Tessouigi to the chat. If you're not following Tessouigi for his streams, why not? Make sure you do. Check him out. He streams a couple times a week that you can see in the chat there. There's a link to his Twitch channel. Of course, he is a big proponent of baseball overseas and is currently running a Colorado Rockies franchise series. And will be on tonight for Sleepy Time with Tessouigi. Hey, yes, he will be on tonight. I think at about, what time is that? 9:30 Eastern, 10:30 Eastern? Probably says in the chat there somewhere. Yes, 10:30 Eastern time for his Sleepy Time with Tessouigi. So it's a wait and see. So he may be on tonight, he may not be on tonight. So there we go, guys. We have looked at the Hall of Fame ballot for this year, 2023. We've analyzed which cards I think will be released on Thursday. I'm calling Perfect, Scott Rowland, Todd Helton, and A-Rod. In fact, Rowland, Helton, A-Rod, Wagner. Three of those 4, I think, will be perfect cards. And we'll find out next Tuesday who gets voted into the Hall of Fame. All right, let's play some OOTP. Let's make sure it hasn't crashed on me. Here we go. Okay, so first thing I've loaded up here is the recent El Perfecto. I still like to call it El Perfecto, even though it's daily Perfecto and evening Perfecto. Have to have a sip of coffee. Again, welcome everyone into the stream. Hope you're getting your drops and hope you're getting some good cards on your drops. Always post in the chat if you get a dud pack or a good pack. Always curious. So this was the Perfecto League that I was in a couple days ago. And it runs, if you make the final four, it's like 2 a.m. my time. So I never check the results at night. I always check the next day. And lo and behold, Lights, Camera, Action won this El Perfecto draft. First time I've won a perfect draft. I've won some of the other daily perfect drafts, but not the Perfecto, where every card is a perfect card. So yes, we did really well in that tournament. We won 4-2 over Mud Dong. We won the first game, the second game. They came back and won the third game. We won game 4. They won game 5, 12-2. They crushed us. And then we came back and won 2-0 in the deciding game. And the MVP, you want to know which are good cards to draft? Ted Klaczewski was the MVP of the final round and also the MVP of round 3. He hit 354, guys. 354 in the tournaments. 99 at-bats, 35 hits, 17 home runs for Ted Klaczewski. So if you ever have him as one of your choices, here is a tournament that shows he's a good player. Luke says that Babe Adams is the man. Well, let's look at my roster. Look at that. My number 1 pitcher, Babe Adams. So I am absolutely going to take him every time he shows up in drafts now. His stats, he went 6 wins and 2 losses with a 4 ERA, 1.7 WAR. Very good. One game he let up 5 runs. Couple games he let in 4 runs. But hey, he went 6-2. My number 2 pitcher was Sandy Koufax. A lot of the better teams are now using him in the bullpen. But he was my number 2 guy, and he went 4-2. Pud Galvin. This is a very polarizing card. Some of the community really likes this card, and some just thinks it's a meh kind of card, especially at the higher levels. He did really well in this tournament. He finished at 4-1, a 3.88 ERA, and I did have pitch counts on my top 3 guys, 113 pitches. But here's a card that what I'm hearing is you don't want to play him in your bullpen. That if you use him, make sure you use him in your starting rotation. Because in the bullpen, he takes a hit for his stuff. Because anytime you move a starter to the bullpen, they typically lose some of their stuff. And he doesn't have high stuff to begin with. So if you move into the bullpen, he might not do as well for you. So it's kind of a card that you start him or you put him on reserve. You don't play him at all. That's kind of what I'm reading in the OOTP community. Yeah, Luke, I've kind of heard, as Snailman mentioned on EVC stream yesterday, the 130 to 140. I could probably put them on bigger pitch counts. And in fact, next tournament, I probably will. I just wanted to try this. As you can see, I only have 10 pitchers, which I thought was going to be the death of this team. And I think it was Luke that mentioned yesterday that I won this with 10 pitchers. So yeah, I had 10 pitchers, which is kind of not what you want to do. You typically go with 11 or 12 in this draft. And I can't remember if this is the 1992 one or the modern one. This is the 1992 one. Okay, so you can get away with 10 pitchers more so in this draft. But in the morning one, I probably wouldn't do as well in the morning draft because that's modern era. Yeah, Rob, good question. Let's go through my other pitchers first. Max Scherzer went 3-2, Jerry Royce 2-0, and in the bullpen I had Bruce Sutter as my stopper, Lidge, Nathan, Raffensperger, and Ryan. And they all did well except Sutter, ERA over 5 with 6 saves. He's one of the better relievers. And here's the card. There's not a consensus on this guy yet. Why did I put him at avoid high leverage? Because last week, the perfect team results on him in the perfect league, he was getting shelled. Most people that were using him, he was getting shelled. He has a high strikeout rate, but he also had a high walk rate. In this tournament, he struck out 28, but he walked 21. So because the perfect league teams, the best leagues in this whole game, were suffering a little bit with Nolan Ryan, I didn't want to use him as a starter, and I didn't want to use him in crucial situations because I'm still unsure about him. I know he sells a lot on the card shop. I know that some are having success with him, but I'm hearing even diamond teams this week saying that he's struggling in diamond. 5.50 ERA in this tournament. So yeah, he's going to strike people out, but he's also going to walk a lot of people. So I did not want him in that close game in the late innings. I did not want to use him to give up those critical walks. 10 or 11 is preferable. Yep. And with only 10 pitchers, more of a reason to go higher pitch count. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that probably was a mistake. I probably should have went 125, 130 for my pitch count. But it worked somehow. Somehow this tournament worked, and I was able to win the finals. Semifinals was a lot closer. I was up against Bacon and Eggs. Bacon and Eggs gave me a run. In fact, they won the first game. I won the second, and then they won the next two. I was down 3-1. I won game 5, 5-4. I won game 6, 7-6. And then somehow I crushed them 13-4 in game number 7. And this was right before I went to sleep that night, and I thought there's no way I'm going to beat them. Hey, here's my draft, Bacon and Eggs. Have Randy Johnson, Walter Johnson, Hal Newhouser, Ohtani, Satchel Paige. I thought there is no way that Adams, Koufax, Galvin, Scherzer, and Royce are going to beat Page, Johnson, Newhouser, Ohtani. To me, this is a world-class rotation. And somehow I did. Somehow it went 7 games, and the random generator, they even had Rube Waddell, one of the top pitchers in the game for a lefty, as their closer. Mike Mussina. They had Bruce Sutter. They had Edwin Diaz. J.J. Putz. This is a world-class starting rotation. If you hand-picked cards, maybe you obviously you take Greg Maddux, but really, I did not expect to beat them. I did have a good set of hitters though. Ty Cobb. Let's put up their batting stats here. Ty Cobb, who went 359. He hit 359. Josh Gibson, 316. George Brett, 278. And then my MVP, 354. I also had Yastrzemski, I had Lou, I had Tris Speaker, Eddie Collins, Luke Appling. I have to admit, my batters, my hitters were world class. Most really good managers are going to take a lot of these guys as part of their lineup. You want Cobb, you want Gibson, you want Brett, especially against righties. And on the bench, I had Campanella, McGraw, Riley, Garcia Parra, and Clemente. It's kind of funny. I took Nomar because someone in chat last week said, hey, I've placed in 2 Perfecto drafts and both of them had Nomar on it. So I had to do the meme. I had to pick him. Because hey, he worked for 2 tournaments for someone last week. So let's go with the conspiracy that he likes to be part of winning teams. So he was on the bench. Bacon and eggs. They had Piazza, Posey, Tomey, Votto, Evers, Ward, Schmidt, Ott, Judge. So my hitting lineup definitely was better than their hitting lineup. Their pitching lineup better than ours. So here's a tournament where it went to game 7 and the hitters prevailed and I won 12-2 in game 7. Let's take a look at that 12-2 game. Or 13-4, actually. It was 13-4. So beat them 13-4 in the semifinals. Babe Adams was my game 7 pitcher. Joe Nathan got the save. They had Ohtani on the mound, and then they brought in Diaz, JJ, and Waddell. Just Speaker, 5 RBIs. Ty Cobb, 4 RBIs. Eddie Collins, 2 RBIs. So yeah, the hitters prevailed. Rob Fan, update on his Ace of Bronze. You took a 3-2 lead, and you are in the finals? Oh, hey, you are in the finals, and you got Alvarez pitching. Deciding game number 6 possibly for you. Yeah, keep us updated if it goes to a game 7. Congrats on getting at least 5 packs. So I don't know if you guys play Perfect Team, the Perfectos. You got to get in within the first couple hours because they fill up really quickly. And again, I always encourage people to set up iron teams or bronze teams and spam them as often as they can. Because hey, every bird gets its worm, and eventually you're going to get some packs as long as you have a fairly decent lineup. So we are going to draft my evening lineup tonight. So this is the Daily Perfecto evening. This is the 1992 version again. So I'm going to try and draft very similar players to what I had before. And I am going to increase the pitch count this time, as suggested by a few of you. Yeah, good point, Erie. I took him kind of for the meme, but he does play multiple positions. So Nomar serves a purpose for sure. So 1992, and the designated hitter is being used. All right. Feel free to pop in your suggestions. Why do I feel this is not going to be a good draft based on the first round? I'm glad this isn't a normal draft where you only get one perfect draft round and the rest are diamonds and golds, because I would quit already. I guess you have to take Max Scherzer. Yeah, I'll ride that hot hand. Absolutely. Cubs fan agrees. And then it's either going to be, I'm not taking the catcher. There's many better catchers that are likely to come. I don't want Stover. It's either going to be Randolph or Tip. Second basemen are often hard to get. There's so many good outfielders. This is 1992, so kind of the beginning of the steroid era. Contact probably serves pretty well. Randolph, really good eye. It's a coin flip. I'm going to go Willie Randolph on that. I want to make sure I get my 2 second basemen. Speaking of, Joey Votto is a must. If this was the platinum Ivan, I would probably take him. I'm not going to take the hardware hero one. And I don't want Nola, don't want this Clemente, don't want Winfield. So yeah. I agree, Rob Fan, Votto and Jackie. Yeah, EVC. Welcome, EVC, to the chat here. We're just going through my evening perfect draft. And for me, it was a coin flip between Randolph and Tip. I went with the infielder just because it's so early and there's so many good outfielders yet to come. I hope. Just if you haven't checked out the master, the conductor, I always think of theme teams like a musical orchestra, like we're playing in a symphony. And every symphony, every orchestra needs its conductor, and EVC is our conductor. And I thank him, and all of us thank him for all the time and effort he puts into theme teams. Such a great addition to this game. And it's really exploded this year with over 160 theme teams now. So if you haven't checked out EVC, go check him out. He's back again on Friday. He's going to analyze the Hall of Fame cards or the Hall of Fame ballot cards. Diaz. Got to take Diaz, and I think I go Oscar, right? Is it Fox or Oscar? I got to go Oscar. Oscar, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Oscar. We'll hope to get Ted K later on. Mel Ott is a given. And then it's I'll grab a pitcher. Roy Halladay. Halladay and Ott. Yeah, Halladay's fine for the pin. Yep, that seems to be the consensus. Mel and Halladay. Well, Ramirez? Maybe, because I don't have a third baseman yet. Yuck is right. Eerie. Hey, you pulled a Warren Spawn, and it fits your theme, Bri Dave. Congratulations. You are having the best week, aren't you? I noticed your name on the leaderboard for, this time period in some of the drafts, and you pulled a Warren Spawn, and he fits your theme team. Nice stuff. Now, Bri Dave, maybe you can help me with some of these players. Okay, I think I already got 2 second basemen. I'm holding out. Maybe I get Eddie Collins, but I've got Randolph and Robinson. Sounds like a Crosby, Stills, and Nash song. Randolph and Robinson. First of all, or I just fill out the bullpen. Izzy Dean. Yeah, this is a yuck round. Yuck rounds are the worst because it's hard to decide. When in doubt, take a picture. You can never have enough pictures. Okay, let's go with Necro. Necro and Ramirez. OOTP, could you have given me the worst cards in the game when I'm on stream? Could you have given me at least one all-star? This is I know I'm not going to get the good Mike Schmidt now because I've already got the bad one. Arenado, I think I have to take. Carew can play first or second, but I got Votto. I got 2 second basemen. Knapp Rucker I don't like as a pitcher. Boy, this is... Well, at least things are looking up here. What do you say, Judge and Hornsby? Boom. I think Judge and Hornsby were the best choices there. Cicero says, no, the worst is when you get 6 cards in a round and you want all of them. Oh, yes. I don't mind it if it's late, if it's round 11, 12, or 13, because I know which pieces I need. But if it's the first couple rounds, I agree with you. And you get 6 really good ones. Walter Johnson is a given. And I think Billy Williams, based on what I see here, although we're in round 8 and I don't have a shortstop, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to go Walter and Billy. Get some speed. Okay, let's evaluate. I've got 2 first basemen. I do not have a catcher yet. How do I not have a catcher? Mind you, I think I've only had a couple choices, so there must be a lot of catchers coming up. I need shortstop, although Jackie Robinson in a pinch could play short. Arenado and Ramirez are locked in. I'm not liking the composition of this team. Ramirez can play short? Nope, he can only play third. Adam Wainwright. I do like Ned Hanlon, but I gotta take a shortstop. I gotta take Cal Ripken. Based on everything else I had there. And Luke Appling. Got my 2 shortstops, and oh boy. Here's one of those cases, Cicero, where I've got at least 4 choices. McCann, I don't want McCann. Pedro and Appling. There's Yogi. I consider one of the top 2 catchers in the game. I've been going after Yogi for the last couple weeks. I've got him on my theme team now, and I have him on, I think, the Jays. I really like this card as a catcher. That ability, I think, gives the edge over a lot of catchers, and I think, from what I'm hearing, a good catcher makes your pitchers better. So I am happy to get Yogi Berra. And then Ohtani. Yeah, I've got 8 pitchers, and as I don't know if you were here, EVC, but I showed the tournament I played on Sunday. I won this exact same tournament on Sunday, and I only had 10 pitchers. So we did figure out that you can win Evening Perfecto 1992 version with only 10 pitchers. Mind you, my hitters were stacked. Yeah, this has been a really bad choice of players here. I've got 2 rounds to go, and I still need a catcher. Boy, oh boy, Bobby Matthews. Yeah, Matthews and Brown. I agree, EVC and Rob. And finally, Rob Nen, can you catch? I don't think so. Yeah, this is going to likely be a first and done, unless Yogi Berra has the stamina of a thoroughbred Kentucky Derby winner, I don't think I'm going to do well in this tournament. So I've got 10 pitchers. We'll take Pud. And what do I need? I need a outfielder. Or maybe I'll take Rob Nen. Rob Nen. And Billy Hamilton only because he can play 2 positions. Ohtani catcher? Let me check on that. Let me check. Let's see. But you guys saw, I did not have any good catcher choices. Like Brian McCann, the hardware hero Ivan Rodriguez, a couple of dead ball era catchers. Yogi was the only catcher that I would even consider taking. I did not get a lot of choices for catcher. All right, Hamilton and Ned. He can rest after the sweep. Unfortunately, D. Dempsey, as an educator, the sweep may be the other way around. It may be not the sweep that I'm looking for. Although I do got Pedro, Walter Johnson, Bobby Matthews, and Ohtani in the lineup. So there could be a sweep. Maybe I'll play a team of Jim Unknowns. Oscar Charleston. Yeah, I'm going to keep you in at long relief, avoiding high leverage. Wainwright, I'm going to put instead of Scherzer. I'm going to go like that. And this is 1993 or 1992, so I'm not going to have setup guys. I'm just going to have middle relief guys. And as my closer, Mr. Diaz. In fact, he's got 20 stamina. I'm going to put him at stopper. Bob Nen as closer backup. And yeah, we'll put him as setup. So I do have an all-righty in fact, every pitcher I have, bar Oscar, is a righty. You guys steered me in the wrong direction, didn't you? You guys are all part of this tournament, aren't you? You gave out the bad vibes here for cards. Yeah, other than a few pitchers, this is not looking pretty. Oh, let's set some pitch counts on these guys. Pedro, 133. Walter, you're going the distance. Bobby Matthews, what is your stamina? 110? You can go 133. Adam Wainwright, a little bit less. And Mr. Ohtani, a little less. There you go. We'll rely on our pitchers to win us our games. Hitting wise, look at this beautiful lineup. I will play around with this a little bit later because I do have to do some platooning and a bunch of different adjustments. But I got Hornsby, I got Votto, Charleston, Mel Ott. So I'm liking the top of my lineup. I like my defense with Arenado, Berra, Appling, Ott, Charleston. So it's nowhere what I had last draft. But maybe it can squeeze out a round. If I can win in 5 games and give Yogi a rest, we might make a couple rounds. Yeah, thank you, Cubs fan. I feel better. I feel better that I did the best with... I'd be okay if I would have got a second catcher. If I got a second catcher, then I'd say I did the best I could. But not getting that second catcher... that's rough. I should have taken Brian McCann in round number 9. I think McCann came in round 9 and then Yogi in round 10. And then I didn't get one in 11, 12, or 13. All right. It is time to check in our teams, and we are lights, camera, action with the theme team in EVC's theme team universe. We can make our own game, just theme team play. Have our own tournaments, have our own levels all the time. It would be fantastic having a theme team universe. Because right now, we definitely could populate almost full leagues in all of these. But we have to go through the friends list, which makes it, a little bit more challenging to remember to do that and get it in on time. But yeah, if we could have a theme team bracket, that would be so cool. Maybe in future versions. All right, this is your 2058 theme team. I like my pitching. Roger Clemens, Carl Hubble, and we are in silver. This is our silver team. Sandy Koufax, number 4 guy, Adam Wainwright, and Christy Mathewson. All have appeared in TV shows, movies, stage productions, vaudeville, some sort of acting role at some point during their career, after their career, before their career. All of these guys. In the bullpen, Cincinnati Red legend Bill Henry, Pedro Martinez, not the good one, not even the second best one. He's going to be the next guy to replace. He's at 7.20 ERA. Another Red, Johnny Vandermeer. Vida Blue, John Franco, Tug McGraw, and our stopper, Mariano Rivera. So that is our pitching rotation. Our hitters, we have the Diamond George Sisler, the Diamond Mike Donlin, Cooperstown, Tris Speaker, Simpsons, well-known actor, the recent Mission Edition, Milestone Edition, Darryl Strawberry, Willie McCovey, Rod Carew, Yogi Berra. Look at this, hitting 349. Manny Machado, and he played a drug dealer in a TV show, Tony Fernandez. Yes, that makes up most of our lineup. And on the bench, we have Derek Jeter, the gold Derek Jeter. And against the lefties, Johnny Bench, Giancarlo Stanton, Cleon Jones. That is the lineup. And because our last game was against my rival is the manager of Jackie Robinson's Rumblin' Rookies, also the manager of the New York Metropolitans. I faced them 3 times in the finals, working our way up to silver. So you know what? Let's play a rival game. Let's look at the highlights of this rival game before we open some packs. Can I, on stream, beat my rival, the Rumblin' Jackie Robinson Rookies? All right, we are in the bottom of the third, no score. Yogi Berra at the plate, the best guy to go to for quotes, and that is deep. That is gone. We were talking good stuff about you, Yogi. Kids, put on your winter jackets. We are going for ice cream. Thank you to Yogi Berra for the 1-0 lead. Take that, rival. Mike Donlin at the plate. Runner on third, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Donlin, a little squibber to the mound, and he beats it out. He is safe, and that will score the second run. 20 RBIs on the season for Mike Donlin. Tris Speaker, full count. Donlin on first. Here comes the pitch. That is driven into left field. That's going to make it to the wall. Here comes the runner around third. Is he going to try and score? Yes, he is. And he will make it in, standing up. and Lights Camera Action have a 3-0 lead on the double by Tris Speaker. Carl Hubble on the mound in the 7th inning for my team up against Manny Ramirez. 4-1 lead. Here comes the pitch. Ramirez drives that to deep center field. Manny putting on a show. He brings the rookies within 2 as we head to bottom of 8. No one on. Willie McCovey at the plate. You know what this means. Here comes the pitch. 4-2 lead. McCovey deep to right field, and that just clears the bullpen fences. Kids, you get a double scoop today. Willie McCovey gives Lights Camera Action a 5-2 lead. Just over the second baseman's head, and that is a single. Head to the top of 9. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Troy Tulowitzki at the plate for the Rumblin' Rookies. Here comes the pitch. Tulowitzki drives that into right field. That should be a single. And the Rookies have the tying run on deck. And Bryce Harper get on base with 2 out. Harper watches the pitch on the outside corner. And the Rocky Mountain Gladiators in their beautiful, gorgeous red and black uniforms take this game from their rival 5-2. Look at that box score. Carl Hubble, player of the game, 7 strong innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Don Newcomb takes the loss, his first loss of the season for the Ramblin' Rookies. At the plate, Yogi Berra, home run. Willie McCovey, home run in the 8th inning. And we also had Manny Machado go 2 for 4. For Jackie Robinson's Rumblin' Rookies, no one had more than 1 hit. Rookies, 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Lights Camera Action, 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. So take that, Rumblin' Rookies. Let's look at the standings now, because that might show a different story. And the Lights Camera Action are leading a very competitive theme team division. We have a 4.5 game lead over the Golden Gloves. Nice Cup of Joe, 6 games back. The Rumblin' Rookies, 6.5 back. They've lost 6 in a row. They're on that random generator losing streak. And the Chicago White Sox off to a rough start, 14-21. So this is your silver standings in the league. Every team here is a theme team. 30 theme teams in the league right now. And it looks like the Narwhal nicknames have the best record in the AC, 25-11. And we didn't play the Rookies last game, so we won't need to watch those highlights again. In the NC, pretty close. We've got San Francisco Tenderloins, 25-11. I don't see any of EVC's theme teams here. I don't think he's in silver. If you guys have a silver theme team, shout it out. Let me know if you're in this silver league. Sega Sonics, who won, I think it was Iron a couple seasons ago. Of course, the Rumblin' Rookies, they have 2 championships. Golden Gloves have 2 championships. So yeah, this is a very tight division. Our league leaders in silver, some of the best players. We have a limited edition Albert Pujols, 15 home runs. Haven't seen him around much. Mr. Lou, very cheap on the card shop. I think you can get him for under $100,000 now. He's still performing well in silver, of course. And the best WAR for batters goes to Pujols, Reigns, and Mickey Mantle. The top pitchers in silver currently with 6 wins: Madison, Baumgartner, Bob Gibson, and Ron Guidry and Mike Krukow, all with 6 wins. Saves, Dennis Eckersley with 12. And strikeouts, Ohtani with 60 strikeouts. Must be nice to have that card in silver. Zach Greinke with 57 and Dazzy Vance with 55. Our pitching WAR leaders, Pud Galvin at a 1.9, Tom Glavine, and then our very own Sandy Koufax and Roger Clemens. 3rd and 4th in overall pitcher WAR. On the overall leaderboard, Lights Camera Action is leading in bullpen ERA at 2.02, and we are 3rd in runs scored at 201. So there is your summary of Silver 287. Off to a pretty good start. All right, we are here now to open some packs. It is pack opening time. First of all, we've got to get this choice pack out of the way. This is a perfect choice pack from that tournament I showed you earlier, the El Perfecto. Okie dokie. I need players that have been in movies or TV or will help me with the mission that I'm really pursuing right now, which is Cooperstown, Walter Johnson. Unfortunately, I'm not going after Greg Maddux. He does not qualify for the theme team. I cannot have Greg Maddux. So Walter Johnson is the guy. Hopefully, one of these is a WAR card. Andrew Jones, you are part of Power. I'm a long way away from Mickey Mantle. Kurt Simmons, you are part of the WAR mission. Okie dokie. He is the first choice. Billy Hamilton, I already have Tris Speaker, so I don't need that card. Schoolboy Rowe, part of Maddux, and I don't need Maddux. Bob Friend, same thing, part of Maddux. And Al Downing, part of the WAR. So it looks like Downing or Kurt Simmons. All right, keyboard warriors, do me a favor, do me a quick favor. IMDb Al Downing and IMDb Kurt Simmons. Let me know if either of those guys qualify to play on the team, because hey, I can get a card to help me get Walter Johnson and a card that can play immediately on the team. I need to know if Al Downing or Kurt Simmons have been in a TV show or a movie. So if you put their name in IMDb, you should get some results. In the meantime, I will open some packs. It is time. Who let the dogs out? Let's see those dog emotes. Rob Fan, yeah, you got the dogs. You won Ace of Bronze, but you didn't get nothing fun in your packs. But hey, you won an Ace of Bronze tournament. Congratulations. Again, I tend not to open packs on Monday unless I see streamers opening some good packs. Then I'll open a few. I think EVC opened up a perfect card yesterday. So I opened 10 packs. And of course, I got a perfect card. But it was a live perfect Arenado. So he got a perfect live. I got a perfect live. Whenever I see streamers open a perfect, I run to my packs. And we've got a gold. All right, we have a couple of answers. Kurt Simmons was the bookie in a short called Honey Bun. And Al Downing played in Simon and Simon. I remember that TV show, Simon and Simon. Well, we're going to wait for our first time out when we get on a bad run here. So now it's a choice. I can pick either of them. They both qualify. But who's the better pitcher? And we have a diamond. Our first diamond of the day. Just Memeza. Just meme. Probably meme. Just meme za. Okay. Just meme za. So you're probably meme a lot of pizza. We've got a diamond. This one's for you, Just meme za. It is. I hope you're a Dodger fan. It is Chris Martin, who is worth a little bit on the card shop. Little bit. So I'm going to keep him for now. And Wildcat Bandit with his Who Let the Dogs Out emote. Let's roll. Rob Fan with the emotes. Thank you, guys. Gold card. Tyler Stephenson. All live premium cards so far. 3 gold, 1 diamond, all live. Not missing much on the theme team. And diamond number 2. All right, Rob, you didn't pull much in your packs. This one is dedicated to you. Diamond. There you go, you guys. You have another mission. Can I use Jesse or Roscoe on my theme team? The dogs did it. Jesse or Roscoe. A $30,000 card. Part of 3 missions. Tug McGraw, catcher, Cooperstown 2, and the Southpaws in relief. But did he play in a movie or TV show? Otherwise, I may have to sell him at some point. Jesse or Roscoe. All right, that is our first really good card so far of the pack pulling. And we're on a little, oh, we got 2 faceless. You know my rule. If I get 2 or more faceless, we're calling a timeout. Only baseball games for a Roscoe? Okay. Can't use him on the team. However, you guys pointed out I can use either Downing or Simmons. Who do you guys see as the better pitcher? Fly ball pitcher, good stuff, good movement. Let's look at card shop value because that's kind of an indicator sometime. 183,000. And Al Downing about 160,000. But his control is not that great. He is a lefty, but his control in the 60s really bothers me. Velocity does matter. Yeah, it does matter. 92 to 94. And Downing was 95, 97. So Downing's more of a poor man's Nolan Ryan. Really good stuff, really good movement, not good control. And they're both lefties. With every team having Hank Aaron, take Simmons. I think he was my Yeah, my choice. Let me just take a look in this league if we have. Nope, we don't have any Simmons in the league. How about Downing? No Al Downings. How about Hank? We do have a bunch of Hank Aarons. Yeah, I think you guys have talked me into it. I think I'm going to take Kurt Simmons. Better overall, velocity's lower. He is a fly ball pitcher, which worries me a little bit. But he will replace Mission Edition Pedro Martinez. I don't think he'll be a starter. He'll definitely be a bullpen guy. All right, Al Downing, Kurt Simmons. That's what I get for winning a perfecto draft. I will take it. And now let's look at the mission for Walter Johnson. 75% done. I am 80 points away from getting Walter Johnson, who I'm pretty sure qualifies. I'm pretty sure you can find him in IMDb. 80 points away. I've got 92,000 perfect points. $80 points away. So 80 would likely be 2 diamonds. I could probably get him. Let's take a quick peek here. What's my best combination of 80 points? 2 low diamonds or 1 low diamond and 2 gold. Gold are not much cheaper. 2 gold equals 1 diamond. So Bob Lemon and Rube Vickers. That would be 83,000 points. Vickers and Lemon. Do they get me Walter Johnson? 50. Oh yeah, easily. So for 80,000 perfect points, Walter Johnson becomes part of the team. 2 golds and 4 silver? I don't think so. Let's double check that. So 80,000 is the cheapest so far, which isn't bad for Walter Johnson. I mean, heck, that's really good for Walter Johnson. So 2 gold would be 40 and 4 silvers would be 4. So let's see if it's any cheaper. 4 silvers are going to cost me 6, 11, 15, 27,000 for the 4 silvers. And the 2 golds, 27, 37, 45, 55, 65, 70. Yeah. So I could get Walter Johnson for 70,000 perfect points. I could wait, but a lot of these are special edition tournament cards, and a couple of them are packables, but why not? Why not? So 6 cards that I needed were there. That means I do have to lock in Kurt Simmons. I'm okay with that. Johnny Vandermeer, I'm okay with that. Because Walter Johnson on the theme team is a done deal. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Action. So I will set the pitching rotation a little bit later, but obviously Christy Mathewson's going to come out. Walter Johnson will be my number 1 guy. And Pedro Martinez is coming out onto reserve. Yeah, thanks, guys. It was winning one of those perfect drafts and getting that 100 card. Huge boost. And then I was able to get the 4 gold and 2 silver for about 60,000 perfect points. Because I don't even know how much Walter Johnson, if he's even for sale. Look if there's any on the card shop. Nope. Oops, that's the wrong one. None on the card shop. He is selling for about 287,000. I bet you could probably get 300,000 for him. And I paid 60. Heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. Really would like Randy Johnson. And who is the card I got? Simmons, right? Let's see what he is selling for. So yeah, I could have sold him for probably 180,000. But why? Then I could have bought 2 of the diamonds and probably come out ahead by 60,000 perfect points. But he can play on my team. So I'm getting 2 upgrades to the team. So I'll take it rather than, play the market. Yeah, Walter Johnson, any theme team that he fits on, absolutely. Every team is going to want to try and get him. All right, let's open maybe 5 more packs on this team here just to see if we're on kind of a hot streak. Almost at the end of the stream. Again, tune in on Thursday, guys. Thursday is my next giveaway. So Thursday, I will be giving out another 20 standard packs, 10 packs to 2 different users. And we'll take a much closer look at the Blue Jays and Gladiators. Today was focused on the Hall of Fame ballot. We were looking at perfect drafts and the theme team. That was today's focus. So we're going to end off playing a game I like to call To Gouge or Not Gouge. Let us look at the card market to end off today's stream, and we're going to filter by cards that are selling for 300,000 or more. We've got a handful of them here, all perfect cards. So again, Sam Crawford, who I pulled on my theme team right at the beginning of my theme team, I sold him for over 700,000 perfect points. That allowed me to buy Roger Clemens and many other missing pieces. He is selling for 385. Last 10 is 360. Gouge or not gouge? Fair price. Fair price. I consider the best 3 left fielders in the game right now, Ricky Henderson, Sam Crawford, Ed Delahanty. I think those are the 3 best left fielders, and then there's a big drop-off. There's a lot of good right fielders out there. And yes, Oscar Charleston, and there are other good left fielders, but I think at the highest competitive level, you want either Sam Crawford, Delahanty, or Ricky Henderson. I would say probably Ricky Henderson would probably be my choice. And yes, not gouge for Sam Crawford. Maybe at some point I'll get him back on my theme team. Next, Ed Delahanty. Again, one of the premier left fielders. Selling for 320. 2 strong buyers wanting him for over 230,000. Last 10 sales, 270. Is 320 gouge or not gouge on Ed Delahanty? To me, that's not gouge. To me, that is a fair price. It's the only one on the market. It's okay to ask for a little bit more than level 10. So 320 for Ed Delahanty, I'm calling no gouge. Dwight Gooden, only one on the market. No real serious orders for him. Level last 10 is 415. What do we think for Dwight Gooden? Is Dwight Gooden a 420,000 point pitcher? I'm going to call no gouge. No gouge. And Cubs fan Steve agrees. Not gouge. Again, he's the only one on the market. Premier pitcher. Just came out recently. Yeah, that's a fair price. Randy Johnson. 425. One on the market. Two strong buyers for Randy Johnson. Last 10 sales, 410. 425. That to me is not gouge. Randy Johnson is one of the top two left-handed pitchers currently in the game. Not gouge. Greg Maddux, he's been around for a while now. Two strong buyers for him. Two people willing to pay more than the last 10 sales. And here we have one seller at $399. I'm curious on this one, guys. What do you think for Greg Maddux? Think so? Even though there's only one on the market and 288? To me, it just fits into that gouge territory. I think 350 or lower, maybe 340 or lower, I'd be okay with. But as the only one listed, I get why they're putting the high price to see if there's going to be someone that bites on it. But I do agree, Steve, I think it is a gouge. I think the limited edition lefty, I would put him in the top two. I would say lefty, Randy Johnson. I think Newhouser's still up there. But I really like that limited edition lefty. I'm probably missing someone else too, another strong lefty. I'm sure there must be a third one out there. Next, Ohtani. There is one Ohtani in Silver Theme Team selling for $636,000. One strong buyer. He's been out for a while, and there's one listed for $607. I have to call not gouge. Cliff Lee, yeah, Cliff Lee, I would say is right below. I would go Johnson and lefty, and then I would put Cliff Lee and Newhouser in that next tier down. And then after that, maybe you have, I don't know who would be in that third tier, but there's kind of a drop off. Spawn, yeah, Spawn I think would be in that third tier. I think I wouldn't consider him a top 5 pitcher right now as a lefty, but he's in that third tier. So yeah, lefty, Johnson, Newhouser, Cliff Lee, yeah, they're all up there. So this would, I would say, not gouge simply because, hey, it's under last 10. It's the only one on the market. It is a high price, but at this point, I don't think it's gouging. Satchel Paige. One strong bid, and it's about 80,000 above level 10, last 10. Close to a gouge, but I'm going to call no gouge on Satchel Paige, but it's very close. I could understand if some of you thought this was a gouge price. Where are the gouge emotes? please. This one has been up for a long time. $2.5 million for Ramirez. Obviously, it is a meme. It is probably not a serious sell order. No other ones on the market. I haven't seen a lot of these ever on the market. I don't know if they're tough to pull or if teams are keeping them to collect Ohtani. I don't know. But rarely do I see a Jose Ramirez on the market. So that by far is our biggest gouge. Jerry Royce, gouge. Gouge, 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 gouge. He was the topper for Platinum 1. No longer a premier pitcher. Could be a good bullpen guy, but this is gouge. Ramirez and Royce, the two big gouges so far. Add a third one. Juan Soto. We're not going to spend much time on it. Gouge. Might be the same person. My guess is whoever pulled Ramirez pulled him on day one when he was selling for a lot, put him up for a lot, and maybe that person hasn't returned back to the game or adjusted their price because those seem overly high and they've been there for a while. Frank Thomas, one of the best hitting cards in the game. You've got your Ty Cobb, you've got your Yaz is pretty good. Of course, you've got your older players that have been there for a while. But if I could have any first baseman right now, it would be Frank Thomas. This is not gouge. If I had 600,000 perfect points, I would pick up a Frank Thomas. And look at that. Two people are willing to pay over 500,000 for him. Not gouge. This is a definitely deal on Frank Thomas at this point in the game. And finally, Tournament Edition, Tannehill, 375,000. I don't think it's a useful card in the game anymore, unless it's for tournaments maybe. But for league play, I wouldn't find it any value to have him at that price. By far, I'd have both. I'd have Thomas at first, Schmidt at third, or I don't know what Thomas's defense was like. Thomas, DH ideally. If you had a DH spot for Thomas, put him at DH. Otherwise, I'd put him at first and Schmidt at third. But you got to play. If you have Thomas, you got to play him, especially against the lefties. So I don't see any Mike Schmidts here anymore. He used to be on this list. Maybe there's none for sale. Let's take a look if we have. Yeah, there's still demand for him. One person willing to pay over 400,000 for Schmidt. You know, ideally, if I had Thomas and Schmidt, I'd put Schmidt at third, Thomas at DH. But if I had another strong contender for DH against the lefties, I'd put Schmidt at third, Thomas at first, and that other guy at DH. I think Ted. This guy here would be a great right-handed platoon guy, maybe to go with Frank Thomas. I mean, there might be other ones too. I don't know Joey Votto where he hits, but I see a lot of success with Ted in tournaments, in league play. So ideally, I'd have Frank Thomas and Ted at first base. I'd have Mike Schmidt at third or Frank Thomas at DH. Lots of options in this game. But of course, those are all great cards. And in terms of right-handed pitchers, absolutely, one of the top right-handed pitchers is Mr. Jacob deGrom. Big demand for him. A couple people really want him. I love a Jake deGrom. I think he's a top 3 or 4 right-handed pitcher with Greg Maddux. Jury's still out on Nolan Ryan. So there you go. We have made our way through the gouge or no gouge territory. I am going to take a quick peek at the Rocky Mountain Gladiators, because they are in Diamond, and I want to show you guys I'm running in Diamond this year with my Gladiators. Spam a couple tournaments, Iron. So yeah, the Rocky Mountain Gladiators and Gym Unknown Blue Jays are in the Diamond League. Haven't checked in on them since early yesterday, so I have no clue how they're doing. Well, might as well open a few packs here too. We've got a bunch to open. I think the All Spora collection is going to be pretty good. That comes out next week. And again, I think we're going to get a perfect Scott Rowland and or Billy Wagner and or Todd Helton on Friday. All right, my Rocky Mountain Gladiators are currently 20-18. We are second in our division behind the SF Peach Kings and E16. So we're just above 500, and the Gym Unknown Blue Jays not as successful. They're 16-19. So both teams are mediocre. Let's check the relegation. Rocky Mountain's about halfway, and Gym Unknown is one game above. So none of them getting relegated. But this is what I want to show you with the Gladiators. Here is my pitching rotation. I really like my pitching rotation. And I'm going, because these are really quality lefties, I'm going with a high pitch count. Lefty Grove, I pulled in a pack while watching Gorgo last week. My best pull, and likely will be my best pull in Perfect Team OOTP 23, was Lefty Grove. Only 25 of them out there. None of them in the card shop. And one person really wants them bad for 500,000. I'm betting I could probably sell them for 700,000 easy if I wanted to. So I consider him one of the top two lefties in the game right now. Control, yeah, I'd like it to be a little bit higher. Who wouldn't? But stamina, hold runners. Then I've got Cliff Lee, who I would consider a top 5 lefty pitcher. Al Newhouser, top 5 lefty pitcher. Tom Glavine would be a tier or two down. And then Carl Hubble, still doing okay. So I am running an all lefty rotation with the Gladiators, which of course means I'm running a lefty cheese ballpark, which has forced me into a lot of roster decisions. So my bullpen, Pud Glavine, I don't know how long I'll keep him in there, because apparently he's not good in the bullpen, but he's doing okay for me, 307. Eckersley, Brown, Halliday, Seaver, and then I go 2 lefties, something the Kidneys suggested a few months ago. I don't know if he's still on board with it, but he said for lefty cheese, you kind of wanted to go all your starters and your 2 stoppers as lefties. So that's what I've been using. And Tug McGraw is at a 242. John Matlick, another top left-handed pitcher at one time, is under 1 ERA. So that is my pitching rotation as of now. Probably could move Hubble up 1. High pitch count. All of these guys, I would say, are definitely top 12 left-handed starters, in my opinion. And then for my hitters, I've been stacking up on lefties because I have a lefty ballpark. So I've got Oscar, Rod, Joey, Jim, Willie, Ken, Larry, Yogi, and then Jackie, who surprisingly has done fairly well against lefty pitchers. So I'm running mainly a lefty organization. I've got Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, Brooks Robinson as my only righty hitters. How can you tell how many cards are in circulation? I'm not sure, Moon. I know there is a master list somewhere of all the cards. Maybe someone in chat knows what that exact number is right now. So yeah, I'm not sure how many different cards currently are in circulation. Haven't checked on that recently. So my lefty pitchers, my lefty lineup, and when we look at the league, one thing I looked at yesterday, I always look at the home records and I go, okay, Cleveland Fossils, they are 12-3 at home. They must be doing something right with their ballpark. So we go into the Cleveland Fossils, 12-3 at home, and we go into the info, we go into their ballpark, and look at that. They're running a righty cheese for BABIP. They're neutral for their doubles and triples. And then they give a slight edge to their righty home run hitters. So they've maxed out their righty hitters, and they're giving their lefty power guys neutral. So let's go look at their team. Maxing out righty hitters with a little bit of edge to the lefty home run hitters. Cleveland Fossils. All righty starters. And in my opinion, at least 4 of these are the best in the game. Greg Maddux, Dwight Gooden, Walter Johnson, Pedro Martinez, a stud righty cheese rotation. So remember, righty hitters are minimized in terms of average. So let's go look at their lineup and let's go look at the ratings. They've maxed out their lefties. So when we look at the contact, look at their lefty hitters, a bunch of them here with high contact. Their lefty power. Remember, they did give their righties neutral power. So they didn't cheese the righty home runs, which makes sense. You don't want to cheese Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Johnny Bench. So again, we look at their ballpark, maximize their righty hitters, maximize their righty home runs. I think I said lefty, sorry, I meant righty. So when we look at their hitting contact, all their strong contact guys are righties, which are maxed out. All their strong power guys are righties, which they've maxed out. So their ballpark makes completely sense. It fits the players that they're using in their lineup. So that's one reason why they likely have a 12-3 record at home. Okay? So you can righty cheese, you can left cheese, but you have to have the players to do that. You can't just set your ballpark to lefty cheese and then have all righty hitters. So I'm a work in progress. I still want to replace and have some better lefties because I have a lefty cheese right now. So contact, most of them are lefties. Power, Yeah, still got some work to do. Probably got to replace Hank Aaron. Probably got to replace Brooks Robinson to get some better lefties in the lineup. All right, we are going to spend 5 minutes opening some packs. Let's see if the Rocky Mountain Gladiators can pull another high-level card here to end off the stream. As we have a break that kicked in. So we'll be back in 90 seconds. All right, guys, we are here to end off the stream. It's been a long stream. And Cubs fan Steve, what do you got going on here? You kind of kept track the last 2.5 months. You get more perfect cards than tops cards. So yeah, they still seem a little bit tough to get in packs. I haven't got a tops card in a long time. Now watch me get like 2 in a row here. All right, I'm going to open about 12 packs here to end off the stream. Let's see if we can end off with a good card. Again, typically I get better cards later in the week for some reason. And that is definitely the case now. Although I did complete Walter Johnson for the theme team. I'm not going to complain about that. So yeah, we will open up a few more packs. Let's go until we get a diamond. Come on, we got to have a diamond on the Rocky Mountain Gladiators. Platinum 4, those will be out of packs in about 3 weeks. I think we have about 3 more weeks of Plat 4 cards. Yeah, finishing off, Steve, with some dogs. Who let the dogs out? Woof, woof. And there is no one into raid right now. No one else is playing OOTP. And there we go. Along with my Toronto Blue Jays, we have a diamond card. So Cubs fan Steve, let's see. Let's see you call one. Let's make this a momentous end of the stream. Who is under this diamond pack? You've got a 1 in probably 200 chance of getting it right. I'm going to call my favorite one to call Buxton for the Twins. Live Buxton. We got a Jimmy Hergert. Yeah, that would be a good call too. Ideally, let's go Plat 4. But my call is Buxton. Oh! Spotted, rare in the wild. We have a Diamond Historical. Known demand to only pop out once in a while. But on this Tuesday, January 16th, mankind has seen a Diamond Historical. Paul Asemacher. A good pull, and it is a duplicate. It is a duplicate, guys. You know what I do. I like to offer you guys first chance before it goes on the market. Part of 3 missions. Tug McGraw, CC2 power, Southpaws in relief, and the lowest buy order is 72,500. Lowest sell order is 88. So I'm going to put it down if you want it. I know it's still pretty pricey, but I will give it to you for of slightly top buy order. So you guys get first chance. Paul Asemacher, part of Southpaws in relief. Good lefty in the lower leagues. Double checking sure I didn't price it too low to give you guys a chance. And if it doesn't sell within a couple hours, I will give it to that person that wants it for 72,500. There we go. 6 more packs to end off. I'm happy. Got my Walter Johnson. I got my historical diamond. Would have been nice to get a top bunt, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a long Tuesday already. I felt that this stream went on a little long, but I didn't notice anyone else streaming, and I wanted to stay on long enough for you guys to get your packs. If you didn't get them from Tranquil's stream a little earlier, I think he was on like for 5 hours. Wanted to give a little bit more time. Don't forget, TJ is on tonight with his Boston Red Sox series, so you can collect 5 more packs. I believe they're silver packs that you can collect by watching TJ. But make sure you get on early enough, because sometimes he doesn't go a full hour and a half to get the maximum packs. So try and get on right around 9 p.m. Eastern and collect your free packs then. So as always, thank you guys so much. If it wasn't for you guys and the comments and the humor and the love of the game, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be streaming. It's you guys that make this all worthwhile. So thank you for tuning in. It is a great day for baseball. It really is. Go play the game, get outside, get out into nature a little bit, breathe some of that fresh air, and as always, be kind to yourself, treat yourself. Go for an ice cream, go grab a chocolate bar, grab a fresh cup of coffee, and be kind to someone else today as well. We'll see you next episode, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, where I am going to try and pull one of these 3 cards and give away some packs. I'm going to give away packs regardless on Thursday, but I'll give them away early if I can pull one of those 3 cards. So again, tune in for the Thursday giveaway. Laptop Pound shutting off the lights in the studio. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. Watch TJ, and of course Thursday Dishnet with a new card release. We'll see you next episode. Congratulations, Vanilla Gorilla, as I chime in here. Really, RVG just pulled a Topps Greinke from my drop. Love to hear it. Excellent. Congratulations. You definitely deserve it.